Even the fucking New York Times wrote a major story about detransitioners. So people that were convinced at an early age that they were trans and now they're detransitioning and their lives are ruined. Their bodies ruined. They can't have children anymore. They lost their breasts. They lost their penis. It's in fucking sanity. They just just had an 8-year-old kid that was taken away from his father because the father doesn't want the boy to be on hormone blockers and the mother does.
It was happening in Canada for a while. Now I've seen some cases in the States, which is...
This is what Jordan Peterson was warning people about in 2016 when I first met him.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, why do you care about what's happening in colleges? This is just fringe things that are happening in colleges. I'm like, those people are going to graduate and they're going to enter into the workforce, and it's a new mentality that exists. It's not a objective reality mentality. It's an ideologically based mentality that's going to change the world at large unless we stop it in its tracks. Like, they're not looking at reality. The fucking detransitioner thing, the fact that it's in the New York Times is big. But do you know why? I mean, there's a whole story that somebody wrote about it. It's because of trial lawyers. Everyone's going to get sued. And it's going to be a big fucking problem because you've thousands of people that have unfortunately given into this. Kids are extremely malleable. They're extremely easy to manipulate. They're extremely easy to influence. We've always known this. It's one of the reasons why you don't let children get tattoos. It's one of the reasons why you don't let children join the military. It's one of the reasons why you don't let children have children. It's one of the reasons why we have ages of consent, because we know that they're not young enough, they're not smart enough, they're not old enough to make their own decisions. They can be manipulated. So if they can be manipulated that way, why the fuck would we think they can't be manipulated by this emerging market, which is gender care? This gender-affirming care. Have you ever seen the map of like gender care from 2007 versus 2022? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. Yeah.
Here, I can send it to you, Jamie, so you can take a look at it. But it's fucking bananas. It's a business. My friend, who is a doctor, told me that his friend, who is a plastic surgeon, who moved into gender transition care, he told me the difference between what that person gets paid for an arthroscopic surgery versus what they get paid for a gender transition. I forget what the number was for arthroscopic surgery, but for the gender transition, he gets $70,000 every time he does this. And he goes, and this guy is raking it in. He's doing them all week.
It's so scary.
It's the cure to all that ails for a lot of people. They think, oh, well, this is what's going to fix me. I'm fucked up. Why am I fucked up? What's wrong with me? What's my problem? Oh, I'm really a girl, or oh, I'm really a boy.
And kids they don't want to be an outsider. They want,
exactly.
It's kind of in vogue to be non-binary or whatever.
30% of kids today recognize themselves either as trans, gay, bi, or non-binary. 30%. Now look at this.
Yeah.
The pediatric gender clinics in 2007, there was 2. One was in Virginia, and one, it looks like it was in Massachusetts, and now look at them. They're all over the country. And this is in 2022. I mean, that's crazy. The idea that this is just, they're recognizing there's a problem that didn't exist, that existed all the time but wasn't being treated, that's nuts. That doesn't make sense, especially when you're talking about children.
They're fucking kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
Kids.
And there's a thing called Munchausen's by proxy, where sick women, will make their children ill. They will do it on purpose so that they get attention for their children. There's been women out there, evil, crazy people, that have poisoned their children.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the documentaries about it.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's a psychological disorder, just like gender dysphoria. It's a psychological disorder. It's always been listed as a psychological disorder. And now in 2024, everyone who is a man who thinks he's a woman is brave and amazing. No one's sick. So you're allowing people that are absolutely perverts and sex offenders to go into women's locker rooms with a heart on, and no one can say anything. And if you say something, they will protest your business and shut you down. There's no room for any nuance. There's no room for someone to say, hey, listen, for some people, there's clearly this thing in them that makes them feel like they're in the wrong body. And if we are compassionate and if we are kind, we would want that person to be able to express themselves in any way they want that makes them feel better, that helps everybody. But also, there's perverts. But also, There's people that if they find out all they have to do is pretend they're a woman and they can go in the women's locker room and watch women change, they'll do that too. You see, I'm sure you've seen the guy in Canada, the 50-year-old man that identifies as a 15-year-old girl and got to change in the young girls' locker room and got to compete with these young girls. It's utter, complete insanity.
Psychosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, you're 50. You're not 15. Period. That's not negotiable. You know, you live a certain amount of time, period. You can't say I identify as a baby and then wear diapers and have everybody take care of you. That's fucking crazy. But the fact that they're letting that, we are one step away from minor attracted persons being something that everybody's cool with. Because that's also on the agenda. And every now and then they sneak that out there. Every now and then you'll see it in universities, see people talking about it. We have this is this one maligned group that has no support, minor attracted persons. Yeah.
It's sick.
It's sick.
It's sick.
It's sick. And the rest of the world is fucking laughing at us. Yeah. They're laughing at how crazy, especially Russia. They think it's hilarious. They're laughing at how ridiculous
I bet you Putin's probably going to say something about that in this interview.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
And he would be right.
I just don't. I don't know why they're just so hell bent on going after the kids. Obviously, I think
it's money.
There's huge money in it.
I think it's money, and it's also the waving the flag of woke. You know, I mean, it's just it's crazy. It's really weird.
But you've had people on here talk about the development of the brain, right? And it's all the way to what? 25
for men. Young women develop earlier. They get their shit together quicker. But we know that in real life.
Yeah.
There's something about men we don't get it. I mean, I think back to the time when I was 21. Yeah, I was a fucking idiot. Yeah, just pumped up, full of hormones, and just driving too fast and doing stupid shit. Yeah, that's why they get young men to go to war. They don't know any better. Yeah.
But leave the kids alone.
Leave the fucking kids alone. Especially, you know, what's really hilarious, there's this guy that interviewed all these people and said, do you believe that it's okay to encourage young people to transition? All these blue-haired people are like, yes, I do. To Catholicism? And they're like, no.
I love it.
And they were doing the same thing with tattoos. Do you think 12-year-old is too young to get a tattoo? Yeah, they don't know any better. But what about change their gender? Yes, they know. Okay. It's just ideology, man. It's just like you might as well be a Scientologist. You might as well be a Mooney. It's the same thing. It's the same sort of religious-like thinking that exists in all sorts of groups of people that we call cults.